Hey guys, welcome to Reform Nerd. So today I want to talk to you guys about the Saiyans and the Israelites, the Jews. So if you've been keeping up with my channel, I've done a couple of videos with Frieza as the main point of discussion, if you want to call it that. And as I was going through all this material, something came to mind, and that is the similarities between the people of God and the Saiyans as well. So I have two things that I want to share with you guys that I thought that was pretty interesting, that are good comparisons between these two sets of people. So we're gonna try something a little bit different. We're gonna be taking a look at a couple of clips here, and I'll share these with you guys. So let's get to it.
Fighting force would be drastically reduced, almost by half.
My troops will still be able to get by. These barbarians pretend to be submissive, but they're dangerous. They could bare their fangs against them.
Alright, so this is from the Dragon Ball Z movie that came out not too long ago. And this is obviously Frieza.
At any time. They are, after all, a species completely comprised of warriors. It's always best to put a sleeping beast down before it can be awakened.
Alright, so the first similarity that I want to talk to you guys about is the fact that both of these guys have been oppressed, right? When it comes to Frieza and the Saiyans, obviously Frieza has oppressed the Saiyans and basically forced them to do his bidding. And in that same way, the people of Israel, the Jews, have been oppressed by the Pharaoh. And this is once we get into Genesis and Exodus, this is where we see the story of Moses, right? And him liberating them from Pharaoh. But this is the first similarity that I want to share with you guys, is that both of these guys are currently being oppressed. In their own timelines, of course. So the other similarity here, when it comes to them being oppressed, is that in some way, shape, or form, both of the oppressors seem to have a fear of an uprising amongst these people. So for Frieza, he fears that this Saiyan race built of warriors would one day become too powerful. So what Pharaoh notices is that the Israelites are growing in numbers, so which means that they're having a lot of babies, and the population is growing, and they're becoming actually larger than the Egyptians. And his fear is that if a attacking nation were to come, they would rebel, join that side, and then attack the Egyptians. So in both ends, we're seeing that their oppressors are actually fearful of this people. That's Goku's dad, by the way, for those of you that don't know. So what that is, for those of you that don't know, is a scouter that senses life forms and like life energy. So what we're seeing here is that this thing is gonna eventually go down to zero, meaning that everybody in that planet was destroyed.
I, for one, feel so much better now.
So that's pretty much the end of that clip. Then we see a couple of things where they are actually a few Saiyans that were outside of the planet, and they actually managed to survive, right? So we just saw that Frieza just decided, you know what, the heck with it, I'm just going to destroy the entire planet so they're not a threat anymore. And that's what we just saw here. He destroyed their entire planet. Now, when it comes to the Israelites, what Pharaoh decides to do is that, hey, these guys have way too much free time on their hands, so let's put them to work. So he increases their labor, and his hope is that this is going to prevent them from having more babies and growing in population. But the scriptures actually tell us that they actually grow even larger in numbers. So that's the first comparison that I wanted to share with you guys, is this settings where we're seeing that these guys, both of these groups, were being oppressed. Obviously, on one side we have Frieza that destroys the entire planet, and on the other hand we have the Egyptians and the Pharaoh essentially putting in forced labor on these Egyptians, trying to force them to just live a terrible lifestyle where reproducing wouldn't even be an option.
That fool can't sense that Kakarot is hiding some of his power level. But how much? Surely Kakarot senses how powerful these guys are, and yet he's perfectly calm. What could he be hiding? Huh? No way! I can feel it!
I think this is the first time that they see Goku fighting in Namek. Oh, oh man, what's this guy's name? I forget, man, but that dude is ugly.
Right, let's do it, tough guy.
No way! How? It can't be! Kakarot? Super Saiyan? But he's a low-class soldier. It doesn't make any sense.
So here's the second similarity, is that both people groups are waiting for a Messiah in some sense. Now, for the Israelites, they have the Messiah that was going to be coming from the line of Abraham, right? And in this case, we're seeing that the Saiyans also have their own quote-unquote type of Messiah, which is the Super Saiyan.
Rhyme for doom, and you'll be hurting all too soon. I truly am a man of many, many talents.
So, the legend is true after all. But why Kakarot? It should be me! Me! I'm the one with the royal bloodline that carries a hidden possibility to become a Super Saiyan. So, it happened. After 3,000 years, another Super Saiyan has emerged.
Whatever clip I got, I don't think that this is the original voice of Vegeta. Let me know in the comments. This doesn't sound like the way that he's speaking. That voice doesn't sound familiar.
But the last Super Saiyan could only maintain his status in the transformed state. His power was extraordinary, but he was too primitive to control it. One day, his rage erupted, and he was destroyed by his own power. Somehow Kakarot is in full control. Somehow he has managed to harness those unfathomable energies. Perfect. 2 years ago, Kakarot didn't even know that he was a Saiyan.
Alright, so here we see a little bit of the story of the Super Saiyan. It was this being that would have extraordinary power. For those that are not familiar with the anime, Vegeta, internally, you almost see a yearning, one for him to be that Super Saiyan that had all that power so he could liberate, right, the Saiyans from Frieza. But ultimately what we see here is that he realizes that, hey, maybe Goku was the one that turned and became a Super Saiyan. Now, in that same way, the Israelites have their Messiah, which is Jesus Christ. Now, Jesus comes into the picture way later from this point. However, we do see that in the Old Testament, they're always pointing towards Jesus. So when Jesus comes into the picture, he is the fulfillment of the promise of God to send a redeemer for his people. And the cool thing about this is that ultimately what Jesus does is that he makes us all of us that choose to believe in him, God's people. And that's what he offers ultimately at the end of the day, is that anyone who is willing to believe in him will become part of God's people, will become part of God's family. So I guess that's the one thing that I'll leave with you guys today. I know that this video was more just to share something cool, well, at least that I thought was cool, but also that God really did send a Messiah to earth. He did die, and he paid for the sins for those that would one day believe in him. And ultimately, if you do choose to believe in him, then you have become one of those people. And hey, guess what? You and I, we're brothers in Christ. So that's all that I had for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please drop a like, please share, and also please subscribe. I have one last news that I want to share with you guys, and that is that I did open up a shop with various anime/game and Christian themed t-shirts, and I'm rocking one of them today. I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't know if I'll make it in the shop. Hopefully it did. If not, maybe I'll drop a picture or something like that. So if you do want to support the channel, please look at the description. The address for the shop is there, so hopefully you guys can find something there that you like. If not, man, just share this video or check out some of the other videos that I have on the channel. And thank you for your support. And as always, I just want to remind you, we must persevere.